Hi, this is Monica Mitchell-Muir, and today I want to give you just a few quick ways that you can customize your desktop that can maybe make things work faster for you. For those of you who are in a version of QuickBooks that is older than 2013, what you may see in this screen is that it looks different. So I'm going to go into the Preferences, Edit, and Preferences, and the first thing is I'm going to go to the desktop view. And the desktop is your screen here, and I'm going to My Preferences. So what I find quite often is when you open QuickBooks, the default setting is to save when closing company. I'm going to recommend that you don't save the desktop, and I'll come back to that and show you why I would say that. The other thing is it's up to you whether you want this side toolbar, which a lot of people like, or go back to a top toolbar. And if you want the top one, then the other thing you may want is color on them. So I'll show you a couple things real quickly. If I were to go to the top icon bar, which you can put back on, then the icons are in various shades of blue are there. So for some people, that's a little harder to read, and I'll explain later. I have open windows. I'll show you how I got there. But this shows me that I have a bunch of stuff already open. So going back to, I'm going to go back to the Preferences, and when I go to, when you save the desktop when closing, then everything that you had open opens up. And when you are in this view, you wouldn't even know that you've got those open windows necessarily. So when people are complaining that it might take a while for it to load, part of that is because maybe you have a bunch of windows you left open in QuickBooks and they all have to run before you can start working again. And in some cases, I've seen people with like 20, 30, or 40 windows, so it can really take a while. And if you run your reports on a cash basis, they take even longer. So these preferences are specific to your login. So for those of you who are sharing logins, I'm going to recommend that you don't. I obviously recommend that for security reasons, but it's also because different people want access to different things in QuickBooks. So this way we can customize it for you. So I'm going to say don't save the desktop, and I'm going to say I would like color icons because for those of us who have older eyes, it makes it a little bit easier to see. And then if you want, you can do different colors. I recommend that sometimes when you have multiple company files. So I'm going to click on OK, and then I'm going to go back. View is pretty much however what you see on your screen. So I'm going to go and say I want to see a top icon bar, and I also have the open window list open. Some people like that, some people don't. For me, I can quickly get back to things that I wanted to do right now. But I'm just going to close all those out right now so they don't mess up our screen. So we have color icons up here. So the first thing is just having, deciding whether you want a top icon bar or you want the sidebar. That's your preference. And then I'm recommending that you don't save the desktop. The next thing would be if you've got the top icon bar or toolbar, you can customize that. You can anywhere on here, you can just right-click and go to Customize Icon Bar. And what you see in here are the items that are already on your icon bar and the order in which you see them on here. So you can certainly move things around if you want. So maybe you want the snapshots up next to the income tracker. If you look up here, the snapshots just move next to the income tracker. The space would be like this little line that you see dividing things. So maybe you want your icons organized in some way. I like that, but that's just me. If you click on Add, there are actually some that are already that come with QuickBooks that you might want to use. So a couple that I recommend, maybe the backup data. Some people, if you do the online banking, you might want the bank feeds. If a lot of people like to use calculators, have that handy. Another one that I use is Find the Transactions. I use Find a lot in my QuickBooks as well as others. So, and notice that it has an icon to go with it, and it has a label and an actual description. I did find if you go all the way down, you see color icons, but this will show in color when we choose it. So I click on OK, and like I said, we can move things around, and there's my find right here. It came up for me. And if there's anything on here that you don't want, then maybe we just delete those. And then you see they're disappearing off of here. So the other way that you can customize the icon bar is perhaps there's something that you use frequently. So I know for some people they go into the check register quite a bit. you could actually, if I click on View, notice that my checking shows up. So I could actually click to add my checking, and maybe that's all I wanted to say. I can change this description, and then maybe we can find, if you want to find a check or something like that to go with that, you can, and then click on OK. And now there's my checking. So this will pull things up. You might also, for some of you, maybe you want to see sales by customer summary, and maybe you want to see it for this month to date. And so if that's something you wanted to see, then you could click on View and add sales by customer summary to your icon bar. And I'm just going to click on OK here. So you can shorten these descriptions, you can move them around, but when you think about that, I come from the perspective of what information do you want to see quickly, and what tasks do you do frequently, so that they can just be a click away for you. And again, I get back to not everyone's going to use it the same, so you can make this work for you when it's under your login. Doesn't matter which computer you're sitting at, and then someone else can have their own set of icons and reports and whatever they want to see. So that's it for today. Just kind of customizing your desktop with the idea that then maybe you can get your work done faster, and wouldn't that be nice? Bye-bye now.